So I'm going to show you how to set up your classes in the Holt-McDougal online textbook. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to my.hrw.com and register for a teacher's edition. You should have gotten an email earlier this summer from Jill that explained how to log on. If you have any trouble with that, you can let me know and I will be happy to help you. Once you're logged in, you're going to see all the textbooks from that publisher that you have registered for. So because I teach both the Algebra 1 and the Geometry Common Core edition, I can see both books here. If you only see one book but you need to see more than one, you can click on this box on the left-hand side of the screen and enter the additional ISBN number for the second book. Click Submit. It'll take you to a new page where you answer some questions and then you'll have access to both books. Now, once you're here, you're going to want to add your classes. If you already have classes from last year that are in here, you can delete them by choosing Delete a Class. However, once you've used a name for a class, for example, once you've decided to call a class Algebra 1 Period 1, you can't use that name again. So if you're going to use the same name for this year, you're going to want to just delete the students from that class instead of deleting the entire class. So I've already created my class. So I'm going to click on Add a Class, and then it'll tell me to put in the name of the class, add the period of the class, what grade level the class is, and then choose which one of those textbooks I want that class to have access to. So for my geometry classes, I would obviously choose the geometry book, and so on. Once you have the class created, you can add students to that class. So by clicking on Add Students on the right side of the screen, you'll select which class you want to add students to, for example, Geometry Period 9. And what you're going to want to do is choose one login and password at the top of the page. What this allows you to do is to choose students off of a list who already have used this online system before, and it won't change their password and login information. So they'll have the same login and password information for all of their textbooks by this publisher, rather than having a separate login and password for everyone. Now what I'm going to do is go to Aspen and I'm going to pull up the class list for that class. So we'll see if Aspen will load. Once it's loaded, I'm going to go to my gradebook and I'm going to look at that class roster. I'm going to have this open on half of my screen. And I'm going to have the Holt-McDougal website open on the other half of my screen. And I'm just going to go down this list, and since the list on the Holt-McDougal website is in alphabetical order, I'm just going to go in order. And every time I find a student, for example, I've already added Sadaf Ali, Esmeralda Alvarez, Preet Amin, Cornelio Balancia. The next one would be Damari Diaz. I'm going to go down this list and see if Damari Diaz is already on the list or not. Since he's already on the list, I'm going to click on his name and choose Add. Then I'm going to go down to the next one. And I'm going to click on that name and choose Add. And once I've done that for all of my students, at the bottom, I'm going to click on Add New Students. And now, when I go to my class, I click on View a Class Roster, Geometry Period 9. It should have those students listed here, as well as their username and their password. So all that I'm going to do is print this information and provide it to my students in class so they know how to log on. If any of the students that you need to add are not on the master list in the website, then you're going to have to add those one at a time. And the way that you do that is click on Add Students, select what class you want them to go to, and at the bottom you can individually add students. Good luck!